Messi Seged Emperor Messi Seged servant of God the Emperor who is the Trinity and unified. O everlasting Lord who was present before the world and chose to invisible from all but reveals everything to you when you created the world without helper because you alone was present. And are not weak like man who rest but from your mouth comes out a sword of fire, you allowed a time to work. And he who thinks of you immediately succeeds for you, and regarding our remedy, he sent his salvation towards us. You ascend light of knowledge in my soul, and you shine in my heart as you shine in their hearts as in Samuel he who anointed kingship and as Nathan or Gad who wrote their chronicles fill my mouth with flaming fire as you filled Isaiah's mouth, and call me as you called Ezra as you told him open your mouth, drink from a cup which its color was like fire. Increase me the tasty reading as I read a little from the matter for this great Emperor Messi Seged son of Adium Seged righteous martyr son of Elif Seged righteous son of Alem Seged, declare all those who are his heavenly blessed who servant of the miraculous God on earth. And as it was in ancient birth of the desired God, and as he ascended and therefore in silence, and as he descended from by the instruction of his God to record the prostrated, and God his Father gave him the seat of David, I write as I find fit about what took place from before this as he lived at Yibaba. His father Iyasu Emperor got his cloth washed by a slave just as Georges did, and he fought troops as did Geloidios, and he had to endure the heat of fire like Kirkos, and he put on his Askima who was similar to the angels like Eintons. He went Baka mother's country Sema regarding this Mariamawit daughter of Lord Michael son of Roswolda Georges the great and extraordinary leader whose news and fame went throughout all the world. And he is the son of Azai Fascilatus who is the son of Emperor and priest Bahiri. And he fell in love with this Mariamawit on the 20th of Seni. She was narrow-minded, pure in her heart and in her prayers, as well as in her studies because she feared God. She opened her mouth in the law and achieved the work of the law by the power of her speech and woman conversation. And one day while he knew that she was virgin, without prior meeting and they met once more and she conceived, when the due date arrived to give birth to Bekafa, and the king was happy and gave thanks to God and prophesied by saying this child is chosen for the failure and success of the children of Israel. He shall be king over my kingdom and he shall seat on my throne and go by my path. And on that day he knew her she was a virgin and did not know her previously but when they met again she got pregnant. When the due date arrived she gave birth to Bekafa. The king so happy gave his thanks to the Lord and prophesied saying this chosen child was chosen for the failure and for the rise of the children of Israel. Oh he shall reign in my kingdom sit on my throne and follow my path. He shall rule in peace and in forgiveness in his days even though his time is unfamiliar. She gave thanks to God because she gave him a son who will be a model in his kingdom. And she said to God, you elevated my soul. She showed her politeness to her husband. From now on promise me that all generation will serve him. He holds the highest power. May he rule in peace and forgiveness in his unfamiliar time. To this child Bekafa they became his family, they loved him and when many snatched him from his mother while she carried him in her arms, she would release him to them and while looking at him, she would laugh. If there is someone who hiding him with his hands, he won't give him up to the second person without work. And all who carried this child in their arms remembered the beautiful scent of his cloth. The virgins and elders used to thank his mother for his inquisitiveness. One time our king kissed him on his lips because he loved him so much. And when the child Bekafa grew in knowledge and in grace and when his father went to Gibi in the land of Iyasu into an area, his father would take Bekafa with him and Baka would be right behind his dad as his father dressed him with shouts and load him with packings, and fear didn't visit him by the following year, and the prophecies of his kingdom told by the mouth of priests and Bahidawian remained a mystery from the time he was born right up until he was crowned king. It grew when these Gentiles got to know his kingdom. Listen to me, respectful guardians of the kingdom. I wrote this story which I am about to tell you because I followed his father to the land of Jabay, and when the king traveled from lands named Tuls, Kubalooks, Agala found us and entertained me with a chat about many things. And he told me, show me this prince whose name is Bekafa, and showed him. 3 days later, this same Gallus found us and told me, do you know that this child whose name is Bekafa will have a pure kingdom when he will be crowned king? And for the tribe of Tulma tribe they bought shoes. And I told him, what would you know as you are a pagan? And he answered saying through the teaching of the Father, I know. And when we entered the settlements of the king of Gondar, I told him all of this. And we went around many people as we were. Listen, because as far as I see and as far as I have here, he is a righteous witness. Listen to me. And they listened today as I'm telling the king that Bekafa is righteous, and as such the king I telling the king the first am not telling lies about Bekafa, as he righteous I'm not telling lies.